Hello, everybody. Hope you're staying safe out here in this tough time with COVID-19. I just want to talk about the Eagles depth chart and how they look post draft. And I'm a huge Eagles fan, always have been for a long time, and I'm looking to try to get into some sports radio stuff. And I think I'm extremely passionate about the Birds and a couple other sports teams, and been a fan for a long time. This draft was very interesting for a lot of reasons, and I just want to give my thoughts on the depth chart, generate some excitement towards the season coming up. As a sports fan, I'm obviously very excited for just a return of sports in general, and the Eagles are a huge part of that. So, quarterback Carson Wentz, starter. Most rational fans love Carson Wentz as a starter. The dude's had great moments. The dude has had an MVP level season. And, there's definitely a lot there that he's given us, he's shown to us, he's proven to us. Now, backup wise, you got Nate Sudfeld and Jalen Hurts. Now, when you look at it rationally, what the Eagles seem to be going for here is, I know they're going to call themselves a quarterback factory. I do like Nate Sudfeld. Obviously he's listed as the third, presumably going into the season, because everybody thinks Jalen Hurts is our big backup and we'll use packages with him. But let's say Jalen Hurts is a little late to the development curve as a rookie. I do think Nate Sudfeld is a solid backup. Now, I would like to not have to rely on backup quarterbacks. Just saying. And I think Carson stayed, relatively healthy. It's just the timing has been tough. And if he could stay healthy this year, I think it's the most beneficial, because I think our quarterback situation this year could be the rockiest that it's been in a long time. Nick Foles is obviously, as good as a backup you're going to get. And Josh McCown was a great backup too. He played well. He's been a quarterback in this league, or he had been a quarterback in the league for a long time. Very supportive, very good in terms of helping Carson develop. So that position, I think it's been downgraded a little bit. Now, this is a huge year development-wise for Hurts. I don't want to say that Hurts is our future quarterback because it seems that Wentz is. But, it is good to have insurance. Let's be honest. Let's be real. And he's on a 4-year contract for $6 million. I think a huge part of the reason why he was selected was to be a, cheaper asset in that backup quarterback role. And, as Eagles fans, we got to admit, guys, it's a little bit like being a Mets fan, how we will try to, be cost efficient, especially at certain positions. Usually backup quarterback they will spend a little bit on, but I think this year their goal was to find somebody they think is valuable in the draft, and I think they thought Jalen Hurts could be a guy down the line. I mean, hey, listen, guys, if Carson Wentz doesn't perform, let's say to a Pro Bowl level in the next 3 years, I mean, we're all expecting Carson Wentz to be a Pro Bowl level quarterback. Let's be honest, we're a tough fan base, and if he can't produce that, a lot of us fans are going to be asking about Jalen Hurts in a couple of years. So it's not a bad insurance policy. Let's hope that we don't need him anytime soon because Carson's our guy and he's proven to be a very talented player. But that's just what our situation is right now. A lot of times we just got to be, realistic and look at it for what it is, and that's our quarterback situation. Now, moving on to running backs, Miles Sanders enters the fold as our unquestionable number one. Really, really liked what he did at the end of last year, as I'm sure you guys did as well. So, hoping to see him build on that. Boston Scott's the number two. Interesting. I mean, not a proven number two in terms of the amount of games that he's been able to show. Darren Sproles is an example of a proven number two. But then again, Darren Sproles hasn't been healthy in 3 years, so maybe it is really time to go with a younger, somebody that can fill in Darren Sproles' shoes and why not 6'5" guy, Boston Scott. Really showed a lot of burst, a lot of pop last year. Caught the ball pretty well in the backfield, so it's not the worst thing for us. And then Corey Clement just re-signed as the 3. Solid 3. They do have the option of signing somebody else. Frank Gore just got signed. We'll see. I don't know what they'll do with that running back position. We all hope that Miles Sanders can stay healthy and be a workhorse, and then Boston Scott can kind of come in and, help. And then, the thing about it, a lot of times I did like having LeGarrette Blount on the team as a short yardage back. I think that adds value. I don't know free agent wise if there's somebody out there. LeGarrette Blount might be a free agent for all I know, but somebody of that, just a freaking B6'2" and huge back there as a weapon that'll draw defenses in sometimes in short yard situations. And then the beautiful part about it, guys, Carson Wentz is an incredible short distance quarterback sneaker, so that helps a lot. Tight end, you guys know who it is: Zach Ertz, stud, Dallas Goedert, Perkins, Ellis, Josh Perkins, Alec Ellis. They'll compete for that third spot. I don't know if we got to go too much into this position. Zach Ertz, really, really could benefit from having some speed on the outside, which we tried to address in the draft, and we'll talk about that in a second. Goddard, I think, still has room to improve, and I really like Dallas Goedert a lot. Blocks very well. Obviously, can catch. Good after the catch. He needs to focus on just getting better and catching the ball in general with his hands, and then not fumbling as well. I think that was an issue for him up to this point in his career. And that's part of him playing extremely hard, which we love as Eagles fans, trying to get extra yards after the catch, but he does have a fumbling issue. Receivers, Alshon Jeffrey figures to be a big part of the offense, and I believe it. I've heard some rumors about that. I mean, looking at this roster, talent-wise, he's top 3. And if he can stay healthy for half the games, hopefully that half of the games that he's healthy is in the stretch run of the year when we're in the playoffs and, working towards the playoffs. I do think Alshon Jeffrey, listen, guys, he's old. He's not as fast as he used to be. But the dude is a reliable option when he's healthy. And I think their goal's got to just be at this position, keep Jeffrey, keep Jackson healthy. They got some insurance policies, I think that's what they are, in Goodwin and John Hightower. I don't know how much those two play this year unless Jeffrey and Jackson are hurt. Now, if Jeffrey and Jackson are healthy, which, again, then you got Jeffrey Jackson, you got Jalen Reagor. And I think that's your 1, 2, 3 receivers. Now, again, remember with the Eagles offense, you're not going to see too many receivers out there because they're going to play Ertz and Goddard a lot. And I think there's going to be a lot of packages with, Jeffrey and Jackson split out wide, or Reagor and Jackson split out wide, and then you have Ertz and Goddard kind of patrolling the middle area. And that's good. That's good for Ertz and Goddard because it's going to give them some space to free up. Now, last year our offense was tough to watch because we couldn't create any deep plays. Now, guys like Hightower and Goodwin, the reason why I think they're valuable insurance policies is because they're better receivers than Matt Collins, and that's really who we had to compare to last year. Now, the big guy is J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Can he take a step? I tried to think about him as an Jason Avant type of guy, just to lower my expectations for him and just to kind of realistically see what he is, and that's a big body that can make tough catches. So if he could be that guy and kind of have the sticky hands and make some plays as a 4th or 5th receiver on our roster, I think that's great. Greg Ward, Goodwin, and Hightower, let's say hypothetically Jeffrey, Jackson, Arcega-Whiteside, and Reagor, that's 4 right there. You're probably going to keep 6 to 7 receivers, so that there is a slight competition there with Greg Ward Jr., Goodwin, Hightower, Quez Watkins, so we'll see. My theory, again, don't hate me for it, a lot of times at the draft we get very excited with acquisitions. It's cool to see that we traded for acquisitions. If you look at numbers-wise, Goodwin's hasn't done much. Hightower's a late-round pick. Quez Watkins a late-round pick. Greg Ward has had some hero-type moments, but let's be honest, he didn't really produce as a top 3 receiver. in an offensive system last year. So let's pump the brakes a little bit on Greg Ward and let's see where we go with our new and slightly improved receiver corps. Offensive line, Dillard enters the fold as a starter. That's if they don't re-sign Peters, which a lot of people think they will. So let's call it what it is. Dillard, Peter, left tackle. All right, so Malu, left guard, Kelsey, center, Brooks, right guard, Lane Johnson, right tackle. Backups, you got Pryor, Jack Driscoll. So Jordan Maitai. You got some people back there in the backup positions that are solid, but, we need the starting offensive line. I'll call it the big starting six. I'm a basketball fan, and it seems like we got a six-man here in Andre Dillard because, let's be honest, Peters is, if he's back, susceptible to injuries. It looks like they're going to bring him back, and I think that would be a good play. Why not? He's experienced, been in the offense forever. I mean, if Dillard can take the role and really run with it, great. If not, you got Peters to kind of help him for another year. DN, very important position on a football field, defensive end, and Brandon Graham's our guy, obviously. Derek Barnett's entering a contract year. So let's go, Derek. Josh Sweat has potential to take a step forward. Jannard Avery, potential to take a step forward. Deshaun Hall's been hurt. So we'll see. I think really, really important aspect of our defense is getting Brandon Graham on pass rush situations to move inside. And we're going to go over the D tackles next. D tackles, spoiler alert, our best position talent-wise, and we've invested a lot of money there. If you can get Graham on the interior, that really helps. When Graham and Fletcher are playing at that level of dominance that they're capable of getting to, and it really just comes down to them being healthy, in my opinion. When they're there and you could put two other DNs, it used to be Long and who else is out there? And they've had so many D-line combinations. Curry on the outside, Long on the outside. I think if you can get Josh Sweat and Derek Barnett to be reliable pass rushers, to put them on the edge, okay, and get Cox and Graham on the interior, sheesh. And let's be honest, guys, our D-line's going to have to produce because they're covering holes in our secondary and they're covering holes in our linebacking corps, which we'll address in a second. But for now, D-tackle, positive note, great position, all right? Good job, Howie. Fletcher Cox, best player on the team, top 5 player in the league. Get this man healthy. Fletcher, we love you. Keep doing what you do, my man. All right, Javon Hargrave, Malik Jackson, Hassan Ridgeway. That's the top 4 D tackles. Now, they've had issues keeping this position healthy. But, man, if you got Hargrave and Cox, Jackson and Ridgeway as that backup, sheesh, you might not even need to bring over Brandon Graham in the interior. Okay, that's a very good defensive tackle group. Let's hope they stay healthy. And let's be honest, guys, the D-tackle group, the D-line is going to have to win the battle. Okay? D-line's going to have to win the battle for us because as we go into linebackers, we got Nathan Gary, Davion Taylor, TJ Edwards, Duke Riley, Jatavius Brown. Okay? What you have here is a young group. They have not invested money into this position, okay? And these are guys that are going to be a little bit undersized, a little bit under-talented this year. Need the defensive line to step up, make it easier for him. I think Edwards has talent, and I think Jerry is a guy that can do a little bit of everything. Like, he's a solid athlete, can cover a little bit, can tackle a little bit, but he doesn't really do anything exceptionally well. So he needs help. And I'm not trying to be an asshole, but he needs help in there. And I think they'll do it with speed. I think Taylor might get some reps in there as like a nickel-ish, dime-ish sort of linebacker. It'll be interesting. But, hey, listen, again, if the defensive line can do their job, it makes that position a little less important. Okay. Quarterback number 1 is Darius Slay. Big play Slay. A little bit older concerns me. Again, I'm a little bit of a pessimist with older cornerbacks, and he's not old yet, but he's getting there. Okay, but let's hope he's got another 1 or 2 years left of at least incredible ball skills, which he does like to have. All right, then you got Rasul Douglas as another option. We'll see. They've started him some games. They've not played him some games. All right, Avonte Maddox is the other cornerback here that's in the mix as a cornerback too. I think he's more of a slot guy, guys. I don't think he's a starting outside corner. The guy that we're all hoping for to finally take that step into the potential realm that we need him to get to is Sidney Jones. We'll see about that. All right, slot corners, they got Nickel Roby-Coleman and Cravon LeBlanc. I actually like their nickel corners. I like Nickel Roby-Coleman, a good free agent signing at a good price. And then LeBlanc has shown when healthy to be a fighter and to be a pretty good player. So I guess if we're trying to be positive here, Sidney Jones, baby, steps up and becomes a stud, and we'll see. They haven't invested a lot of money into the cornerback number 2. They invested a lot of money into cornerback number 1. So we'll see. Free safety, Rodney McLeod, Will Parks. Like the Will Parks pickup. Rodney McLeod's a very good player, and Will Parks gives a little bit of depth and versatility back there. He'll be the nickel role. He could do a little bit of run stopping and pass coverage for Will Parks. So he's a solid player. And then strong safety, Jalen Mills and Kevon Wallace. Will Kevon Wallace overtake Jalen Mills? We'll see. Will Jalen Mills become a cornerback again? I hope not, but we'll see. I do like Jalen Mills as a tackler and a competitor. Obviously, we know his confidence is extremely high, too high. But, if the dude can tackle and the dude can make plays athletically, he's a corner going into his safety position, so hypothetically he should be able to cover. Not that he can cover as a fucking corner, sorry for cursing. But hypothetically he should be able to cover back there, so we'll see. And then kicker, Jake Elliott, punter, Cam Johnson. I like those guys a lot. I think those are very important positions, and I feel comfortable with Jake Elliott, and I feel comfortable with Cam Johnson. Kick returners, Boston Scott gives you some versatility back there as a kick returner, but I think Rieger is the guy, especially if Deshaun Jackson stays healthy and he's a reliable threat, and Rieger maybe doesn't get as much looks on the outside. I think Rieger will take over the returning options, and I think he'll be great for us. That's the thought on the depth chart. Please let me know what you think. Let me know where I can go from here in terms of making videos. Again, I'm trying to just be someone that breaks down things for my teams, Eagles. I also love the Brooklyn Nets and the Duke Blue Devils, New York Mets, so a couple other teams. But just want to kind of break down what I think of the roster. Realistically, just to kind of sum it up, I think our defensive line has to be the dominant group overall. And hopefully our tight ends can take an even bigger jump because of the new speed on the outside. Go Birds. I'm really looking forward to the season, and let me know what you guys think. And if you have any other suggestions or some free agents out there, trades you think, let's talk it up. Go Birds.